Morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We're going to be doing a live session. We're going to be doing foam rolling for today's mobility. So let's get started. We're going to start on the floor. We're actually going to start on our lower leg calf. So I will start from the lower body and then I'll work our way up. I'll angle this down so you guys can see a little bit more. So for the lower body, we're going to be starting with our calf. We're going to actually start with the left calf. I'll place my left leg on top of the foam roller, and the right leg's gonna come on top. And then from there, I'm gonna roll kind of left to right, side to side. I'm gonna point, flex, make a circle. You have 1 minute here. You'll be accumulating and using that time frame as our clock runs. So I'm kind of rolling left to right, right to side, point and flex. I like to work from my ankle up to my calf. You can always work from your calf going down. But as you notice, as I roll here, I'm working on adding a little bit of intensity. I can lift my hips up. I can take my leg off if that's too much. So you find what's best for you, but you do that for 1 minute. Then from there, I'll switch. After that 1 minute is up, I have a timer to the side. I'm gonna roll, same thing, kind of side to side. So basic way to start if you've never done foam rolling is just start with that one leg, kind of go side to side. It should feel a little tender if you haven't done any of this, but we're working on kind of massaging the muscle out with the foam roller. If you want more intensity, add the other leg on. If you want more, lift the hips even more, but I want to be rolling from side to side. Entropy, come here. Entropy. Good girl. So I'm working up to kind of the meat and potatoes, the gastroc up here, soleus is a little bit lower, but I'm going to be rolling kind of from side to side, pointing and flexing, making a circle. As I do this for 1 minute, I'm looking to massage that muscle out. We're almost there. I like to always start with the foam roll on my calf and then get to my hamstring and then quad, which is what we're going to do today. So we're going to go back. Next minute, we're going to do hamstring. So notice that the bottom of the leg or the bottom of my knees on top of the foam roller, and then I'm going to cross my leg on top, lift my hips. I'm going to roll kind of inside and outside. Looking to get a little more of the adductors as I do the hamstring here, and then rolling out a little bit to the side of the IT band. Nice and slow. So I usually will do 2 to 3 rotations, kind of side to side, and then I will roll up a little bit further, bringing that foam roller closer to the inner thigh or groin. I love foam rolling just because it's kind of like a self-massage that you can do for yourself if you're not able to see a practitioner or able to see anyone for body work. It is great to incorporate. You can use an actual foam roller, you can use a PVC pipe depending on what you have. But being patient with the process is always important here. Again, if you always want extra leverage, place the other leg on top. Good, and let's switch. Same thing other side, come on. Entropy may or may join in. She's sniffing around. Good, it's the same thing other side now as we rock in. Hit a little of that inner thigh adductor and then rock out. If you find a spot that's tender, you actually can sit there. You can try to bend the lower leg, straighten it. Entropy, come here. Entropy, come here. Down, good girl, down. It's a little warm for her. All right, so we're almost up with this side. Make sure you're walking all the way up to the inner thigh at the base of the butt, top of the hamstring. Good. From there, we're going to flip onto our glutes now. We're going to roll out. We're actually going to start on the right-hand side because Entropy's in the way, and you guys can see it hopefully from the better camera angle. But from here, I'm leaning into that glute, trying to put some pressure on that middle of the butt cheek. You can stay here. You can straighten that bottom leg. Bend that knee, bring it into the torso, see if you can get a little tension there or feel a bit more pressure on the stretch. You can also even lay down on the foam roller, coming to your elbow, and you can roll to the side. So if I am working on my glute, I'll actually work my TFL, which is a tensor fasciae lata, one of my hip flexors. I'll roll from my glute to the side, and then I'll roll a little bit more to the front. So I'm kind of working a side-to-side motion and even an up and down motion here on the glute. Depending on how tight or flexible you are, rolling to the side might feel kind of intense. Think of your hip flexors and all the extension you do or the sitting you may be doing. This will really be beneficial. So I'll spend 1 minute here, same thing, rolling out the glute. Nice and easy, side to side. I'll sometimes hang out here, maybe do some work on my phone, responding to messages or emails. Once I hit that side, then we'll switch. Same thing, opposite side, I'll pivot so you guys can see. So again, we're looking to get that foam roller kind of where the leg meets the torso. So as I lean to the glute or lean down and I'm hitting the glute here, I roll over to the side. It's almost like I'm stacking my hips on top of one another as I hit the side of the hip. If I bring my leg up, you can kind of see that hip crease right there is what I'm placing on top of the hip flexor. Entropy, come here. Good, rolling to the side. And again, if you want to hit the front, you can hit the front. We're going to work to our quads after this. This is me focusing on our lower body segment with the foam roller. We've done calves, hamstrings, adductors a little bit, hips, and then we'll finish with the quads. So rolling forward and then rolling to the side. Rolling forward and then rolling to the side. Then from there, we'll slowly come on up. After you finish those minutes on both sides, both glutes, we're then gonna roll over to our belly. So I'm gonna pivot so you guys can see this better. When I roll on the foam roller with my quads, I'll start with both legs on top of the foam roller. From here, I can start at my hip, and I can roll all the way down to the top of my knees. Now, if you're new to doing this, start with both legs like I am demonstrating here. If you have some experience foam rolling and you want a little more intensity, you can roll over to the one leg and one side and work the IT band of that leg, right? So I'm working the IT band of the right leg, slowly rolling from my knee up to my high thigh hip. Again, hitting a little bit of that TFL again, and then slowly rolling down. I'm using the floor as leverage to push away from the floor so I can support myself. The IT band may be tender. If it is too tender, just roll over to the front of the quad, same thing, rolling down. I'll roll down about 1/2 inch. I'll then bend my leg, straighten my leg, then I'll roll down another 1/2 inch, bend, and then straighten. So I'm working dynamically by kind of keeping the foam roller in one spot and then dynamically moving my leg. So I'll usually spend about 2 minutes on my legs. I'll spend 1 minute on my right, which we're doing currently, and then we'll switch in a moment and we'll do 1 minute on the left. As I rotate over, I switch the other side, same thing, kind of targeting an area. I know that my upper thigh is a little bit more tender than my lower thigh, so I'm trying to stay there a little more statically in terms of holding that position. And then again, I'll bend, and then I'll straighten. Bend, and then straighten, and then roll down. So if you find a spot that has like a knot or a lot of tight areas on the leg, stay there. Highly recommend holding that spot. It's going to allow you to hopefully release a little bit more of that area. And again, if this is too much with both legs off, you can always rotate and go to the edge of the foam roller so that one leg is off. So we'll demonstrate on this side. So kind of like letting that one leg hang off to the side, and then I have only my weight on that right leg, just for demonstration. Left side, same thing, kind of bring my right side of the body, and then I can hit that quad as well. So same thing, rolling down, try to get to the top of the knee, avoid the knee joint, so the lowest you're gonna go is gonna be the top of the knee. When I'm there, I can bend and then straighten. So after I wrap up those stretches, I will essentially wrap up all pieces of our body in terms of lower body, right? So we did calves, hamstrings, and quads. One extra piece you guys can throw in there and you actually do additionally is an adductor stretch or an adductor foam roll. So what I'll do is I'll bring my knee, think of a 90-degree angle, knee in line with my hip, and then I'm gonna roll over to my belly. So the foam roll is actually parallel to my body, and this is another area you can target as the inner thighs. We kind of targeted the inner thighs a little bit with the foam rolling of the hamstrings, but this will allow you to get a little bit more. So your body is almost parallel or kind of flush with the wall, and then I'm gonna roll out and roll in. So I'm rolling from the inside of my knee to my inner thigh close to my groin, and I'm using the foam roller as a slow and adjustable roll. So as I roll out, I can bend and straighten my leg, nice and easy, and then I can roll in a little bit. Same thing, I'll do 1 minute on this side, we went a little over, and then I'll switch. I'll pivot so you guys can see me. Same thing, getting nice and high. The higher you can bring the knee up, the more you're gonna be able to get more to the inner thigh. As I pivot and rotate, I'm going out, again, straighten, and then bend, straighten, and then bend. So being patient with yourself, allowing yourself to spend time here. This, again, we'll spend 1 minute on the right side as well, rolling all the way in and out. You can also just find something that you can read or look at here to hold that time frame and sit into that position. If you've never done foam rolling, highly encourage you to start adding it into the routine. You can follow this little video as one of my videos, as one of my routines. You can also follow my other videos that I have that show some different mobility options. I'll be providing more mobility videos with lacrosse ball, kettlebell, and also be doing some dynamic warm-ups. So if you guys like this, make sure to subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and I'll be sharing another one tomorrow, so stay tuned.